Hey guys, what's going on? So what? I'm here with my girlfriend and she's laughing at me for some reason. So we were gonna do a Demon Hunter PvP video. I don't know why she's still laughing at me.
We have to get rid of this. Don't do this one.
Okay. We were gonna do a PvP against each other with the new Demon Hunter, but she's not gonna stop laughing at me. So instead, we're doing a PvP against regular people, because I was trying to think about how we could normalize Demon Hunter decks or what we would play against to where it would be an accurate representation of. What?
Can we start over?
No, this is funny. Be an accurate representation of the deck itself. But my Demon Hunter is 8, and hers is 10. And then we were gonna do it against Blade Dancer, but then mine is a 15, or mine is a 14, and it would be against her 10. And then we were gonna try to do it against lesser decks, but that doesn't seem like it would work either. And it just seemed really complicated. So instead, I'm just gonna have her play this Demon Hunter deck, unless you want to make any changes to it. You want to run the Night Statue version.
We can do this one to start.
Okay. And then I'll have her talk about what she's been doing for the last, 2 hours of Demon Huntering.
It's true. I heard about the update, and I've basically just been playing PvP with mine because I really like it. Ooh! The person we're up against is using Hex with it.
Oh, that seems good.
It's an interesting idea. We can see how good the deck is. We're testing decks!
We have Bombardier Chemist.
Bombardier seems to be something that's virtually essential for this, just because of how many bosses there are that change your board, entirely. It's something, unreliable in the reliability of any deck is important.
Because bosses are usually the things that are going to kill you. His version is good because Hex is obviously good, and it'll when you think about something hitting 7 things, and it having a chance to insta-kill all 7 things, obviously when it gets late game, that's going to help him, but he's not running Bombardier or Chemist, so what's going to kill him are bosses. And so if he gets bedlammed at any point, he's just going to die, and we're basically almost never going to get bedlammed. Which usually means we're probably going to get bedlammed in this game. Future us, you can feel free to laugh at us if that happens.
One thing that I am noticing about their deck, they don't have the Chemist, so the longevity of the game is less present, I guess. Not the Chemist, the Scrapper pushes you further along in this, because ultimately, if you're going to play the longest game with this deck, you're up against one of those infinite round decks or something like that, your goal is to get to that 40. Which obviously it's got a ceiling, but the fact that you're still, once you start playing this, your goal the entire time you're playing it is to eventually get to that point. And it sounds unattainable or ridiculous, or it's so far off.
40 levels. Even if you had, what was it? We were thinking of 4 or 5 on a Night Statue when we were doing Night Statue version. And even if you had 4 level 6s, that's only 24.
Yeah. So, it's a far
and you're trying to
off
get to 40
goal. I think the other part of it is if it's more attainable when you have Dryad or something like that, because then you can get your lower levels to a more reachable level quicker.
You can reasonably get them to 3s. Or, yeah, 3. You can reasonably get them to 4s. We were thinking even if you had 10 level 4s,
right.
But that's most of the board, so you can't even, it's bad to even do that.
Right, but if you have the full setup and a 1, 2, 3 I have of the Scrapper, then eventually you're going to be able to just continue going, because at a certain point you'll be maxed out on leveling on your upgrades, and you'll kind of just be sitting there.
Puppeteer.
Yes. You'll be maxed out on your upgrades and everything, and you'll kind of just be sitting there, and you'll like just be scrappering. So ultimately you're just going to be leveling up the same pieces anyway. So for like those exceptionally long games, that's kind of how this beats out other things, because there's still an improvement marker, like an attainable marker that is in the future that most of the time you won't reach with this deck.
Or with the other deck.
Well, with the other decks, it doesn't even have that marker.
Oh, right.
Most of the time, you won't get to 40 with this one, but it's still something that could happen.
That could happen, yeah.
It has the potential to still get better.
Yeah.
So there's something to work towards. Whereas, like, if you have a Blade Dancer deck, you are upgrading your Blade Dancers, but if you have the full setup, then there's not anything like having more Blade Dancers isn't boosting your Blade Dancers anymore. You're not getting, like, something special if it's a level 7. It's just kind of, I don't know what the word is, like, almost more passive.
Since he's trying to only upgrade things through merging and hex, through merging.
He's got Harlequin Dryad as well.
Yeah. But, like, at a certain point, you have to merge things that you don't want to merge. Like if he gets all these 3s, right? Which he almost has. If they all become 3s, you have to merge 3s.
Yeah.
And your 3s can become a Hex, or a Summoner, or a Harlequin. Obviously, in the best case scenario, you get a level 4 Demon Hunter, or you get a level 4 Dryad. But it doesn't always happen. So eventually, I think he's going to hit a ceiling where either he's going to get bedlammed, and all of his field is going to go away, or he'll have to merge out like 2 3s or just important things, and it's going to become something that he doesn't want. Whereas with the version that we're running, Bombardier and Chemist both help with bosses and waves. Chemist helps with waves, and then Bombardier helps with bosses. And you just have the 2 spots for them. And then you can literally just eat everything and make everything else in your deck better. He's already starting to drop off. I don't know what he's doing. I think maybe he disconnected. But at the very least, he should have summoned in that last spot. There's no reason not to. So a part of me thinks that he just disconnected. But that's what was eventually going to happen to him anyway.
I think he disconnected.
Well, it's after Tribunal hit and he still hasn't summoned in, so I'm pretty sure he disconnected.
Which is unfortunate, but because I think there is potential with I think there is potential with the Hex idea. I just also don't feel like this one, it's kind of like trying to beat people in the first 2 rounds with a robot deck. Robot isn't one that's set up to do that well that quickly, if that makes sense.
Is he gonna beat us anyway?
Maybe. That Hex is doing a lot for minions, which with a Banner Lord it can cause a lot of problems. Yeah. Again, the problem was the bosses, not the minions.
Demon, I think Chemist helps with Banner Lord. You try it again? I think Chemist helps with Banner Lord because that's its greatest weakness. Because it's just straight damage. And it's spread damage.
You can talk about how you avoid the witch.
Yeah. So, she was auto quitting games just because she was going up against Witch, and we don't have Portal Keeper obviously in this deck. And I told her that against Witch, all you need to do is beat. Well, I mean, I guess Cultist is really good, but we were playing against like Witch, Bruiser, and all you need to do is beat the opponent's damage. Cultist is the best version of Witch.
Did it upgrade it when it hit me?
Oh, do they have the talent? Yeah, they have the talent.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. If it hits a Bombardier, that's fine. And you basically want to try to not merge or do anything unless you have to. So right now, I wouldn't even suggest merging anything because you don't need to. And I would just upgrade stuff. Oh, and they're also running, they're Puppeteer's first boss, so you don't really want to upgrade anything anyway. Scrapper is also fine. If it hits any of your utility creatures, it doesn't matter. You can actually just leave it on the field. Because it's not ruining your board in any way right now. And it just gives the other person another target, the same target for it to hit again.
Well, and a lot of times with decks like this where it attacks the other player, like when I would play against Shaman, I haven't played against Witch a whole lot because I'm in a lower league where people don't have all the cards yet. But with decks like this where they've actually got a good like a good attack unit, they tend to want to merge out. They tend to like plan for this big attack, and then once that is over, they want to actually focus on being able to hit and defeat bosses and things like that. So they merge out all of their witches and whatnot, or shamans, and then they set up their actual attack
For the rest of the game.
For pretty much the rest of the game, and then you can actually have the ability to do more, which I'm just going to upgrade for the sake of survival.
You should probably just do some stuff anyway. You're going to die. He already got a level 5. He's not running Portal Keeper, so that'll help. Because if he just gets unlucky with his spot placements, that 5 might not activate. He's 1 away.
I'm very hesitant to be the one playing this deck. Just because I'm not generally as confident with it. With being able to play against these kinds of characters.
He made the T with the 5. Which is pretty bad for us.
No.
You need to upgrade something.
That gives us the next stage of things.
But see, right here, you're seeing how much Bombardier helps.
And it's actually been witched. It's just that the stun effect is still happening, which is kind of fun to know.
And it doesn't do enough damage for it to outpace your actual damage unit. So it's actually fine. You should be doing more damage with everything else. Upgrade the chemist. Upgrade the chemist again. Also, when you're running against Witch and you have the Dryad version of things, you always want to upgrade your support units, because if the Witch hits them, it doesn't matter. It's still doing something, but it was going to do something anyway, and you can't just keep merging them out.
It hit that one twice, which turned it into a level 3. And it's presently adding a lot. That one in the middle.
You have to find a way to kill it.
I'm working on it. Which brings me back a merge level, but yeah, this one's difficult. Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
We're probably not going to win this.
No. Oh! They keep saying oops. It's driving me crazy. Oops, I did it. If I think about it that way, it makes me less frustrated. There we go.
He's pretty much at the point where he's built up his field. And he's probably not going to witch anymore. He's going to witch very, very randomly. Another thing about playing against witch players, you have to keep your board filled because then they have less chances of hitting anything important.
I think this is kind of showing where I worry more about what this deck could do because of how many minions and stuff are on the field. Its attacks seem like are spread out more, which obviously we lost that one, which is one that I'm actively very upset about because it's so ridiculous. I mean, it's doing exactly what it was intended to do, but it's a ridiculous intended thing to happen.
If you saw my tier list, I put witch above shaman because for that exact reason, if we would have gotten shaman, it wouldn't have mattered. We could just keep upgrading things. Witch completely shuts down a deck if you can't eat or move a thing.
One option of this deck that's less the longevity and things of it are less concrete, and it's a little bit harder to get up. But if you play like the co-op video we had where it's Bombardier and Night Statue and Portal Keeper, you can be prepared for something like Witch to happen, but it's a lot harder to manage, and it also leaves you more vulnerable to things that like you're not upgrading as fast, so you're not getting through the stages as quickly, and you don't have the chemist, so you're not able to handle waves and things like that as well. I got the nod of approval. My analysis is correct on this one.
I feel like this is a pretty easy game.
I want Inquisitor to be good so badly.
What's your Inquisitor? Like a 10? Like that's something
It's a
else?
10 or 11.
Yeah, that's something else that you like really invested in.
Actually, I think it's a 10. I like watching it go through stages. Sometimes when I'm playing, like it goes into that longer game, I start like counting how many merge levels I have of everything. It's something that it keeps for me, it keeps my attention on the board a little bit better than some other decks. Like, I feel like with Blade Dancer, I kind of set it up and then I just let it go. Like, once it's set up, I'm more confident about... Well, I've also played it a lot more, so that helps. But I'm really confident about it, so I just kind of let it be. And I pay less attention to what's actually happening, which includes less engagement in the game in general. But I know that's not the case for everybody.
I don't really have anything to add to this game. It like once you start playing it a couple times, it feels like a very straightforward deck, especially since you're not trying to set up literally anything. You're just trying to upgrade things. Mm-hmm. You're literally just sitting here.
Well, the basic information that you need about this is the big change that they made. It goes to a higher level at 10 and at 25 and at 40, I think. Mm-hmm. 10, 25, and 40 are like it's in its next wave forms. And that's pretty much the core information. Kind of like how Inquisitor, you need to know you either have 1, 4, 7, or 10.
1, 4, 7, or 10, yeah.
And besides that, you just go for it, kind of a thing. This is along those lines of it is what it is, and you just kind of work with it.
3, 6, 9, 11, 13, 16, 18, 19.
You can get it to 20 if you use a Dryad.
But like the threshold is 25, so it almost doesn't even matter. I'd probably do it anyway because it's it's on a square. But I also I'd rather save up Dryads.
Well, I was thinking about this earlier actually when I was playing it. And whereas with the Blade Dancer deck, your goal is to get things to, like, you want, rather than have everything be a 1, you'd want like one thing to be a 4 and a couple things to be a 2. In this, it's easier to get everything to be a 2 and then everything to be a 3. Because you don't necessarily, like, you do want something that's a higher level because then it's attacking more enemies. But in general, you want everything to be upgrading. So you want to use the 1s on your 1s. You want to use the 2s on your 2s.
I can see that.
Because if you're saving up, like, for... Like, right now, you could use that 2 on something. Or you could use it...
It's providing you the same value.
Right. Either way. Whichever one you use it on, it's giving you the same value for the whole thing. Versus, like, if you saved up, like, 2 more level 1 Dryads and then merged those ones...
And then merged
merged it onto one thing, that gives you 1 point.
Yeah,
but if you use... If you use the level 2 on a 2, and then a level 1 and a 1. Yeah. And that'll get you 2 more points. And so leveling up your smaller things is actually more important with this deck.
Or 3 points.
Right. Leveling up your smaller things is actually more important with this deck than it's been with most other decks. It's the opposite of kind of what it was before, where you just wanted to focus on the one thing and get it as high as you can. This one, you want the whole crowd of them to get as high as possible.
I have it.
The crossbows. It's in stage 3, and then you get 15 more upgrades, and you'll get to this mega power. But that Inquisitor's holding on relatively well.
The 1 level 5.
Yeah.
With no other support unit. That's crazy.
On a level 4 statue with, gadget. But
I don't think it doesn't even have a tile.
It's got an attack square, but I think it might have a tile underneath of it as well.
Oh no, it's a bedlam.
Oh no. You'll be fine. Yeah.
Let's go.
He got bedlammed for sure.
Should Bombardier be S tier?
Yeah. I think underestimating the importance of your support cards is a mistake. But I don't know that automatically qualifies them to be the most amazing cards. If that makes sense?
I feel like I would not have won this if I didn't have a Bombardier right there.
That's true.
And I feel like when it goes into late game, the idea of having it doesn't even need to be a level 7 bombardier. It could be like a 3 or a 4 or 3 level 1s. And like, I'm going to win this game now because I didn't get bedlammed.
You would likely have won this even if you had gotten bedlam, though.
Maybe. Yeah, probably. Because we would have both got bedlammed. Yeah. And I have an 8. That was a level 11 Inquisitor. I mean, I have a higher crit chance and a higher gadget. But... Oh, he does have a Bombardier. Did he just not have a Bombardier at that?
He just didn't have it on the field.
No way.
Yeah, he just didn't have one on the field.
That's
he didn't want to
sad.
summon in because he had that level 5.
Oh, yeah.
And because that's the problem with the Inquisitors.
Why
like,
wouldn't he
makes
have
you
kept
hesitant.
it? He even has a scrapper.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Anyway, so that's like the good and bad of like new Demon Hunter and co-op.
I enjoy playing it, but I don't know that I would jump in and say like it's the best deck. But it is definitely a new fun one to try out and mess with, and I think there are a lot of variations for it that could work. I just think that this is like the baseline. You're gonna get the farthest that you can.
I think it's a much more interesting than the old new version of just have the 1 and just sit there with the 1 level 7.
And
Like they
then,
made it an interesting deck.
I think in the goal of the old one wasn't actually just to have 1 level 7 that did everything. I think their goal was to have everything going up in merge rank at the same time. Because if you read the previous stats about it, it was talking about whatever your highest one is at any given moment.
Yeah.
All of the other ones that are the same merge rank as that. So if you had 4 level 4s, they were all doing that increased damage.
Right. But then nobody did that. So
No.
so everybody was just like, I'm just going to have the 1 and make it a level 7 and win the game.
I think their goal was for something
For what it
more like
is
this.
like this, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But-
interesting. That's probably right.
Well, because if you think about it as that, if you don't think about it as that was their goal, then this change seems kind of out of left field. It's like, why would they?
Which is why most people hate it.
Yeah. But if you actually read
But
the
if you read
statistics and
the
everything
statistics
of the last
old one, yeah, that's true.
it seemed like that's what they wanted, because I read it the first time. I was like, that's really cool. I can have like but everything be a level 2 and they're all that increase attack. But then immediately people are like, jump on the level 7, get it to a level 7, and then it's unstoppable.
I like the idea that if you just upgrade it through level, it hits that many things. But once you get to the different thresholds, then it changes the attack and what it does.
The amount of damage and yeah.
Demonic empowerment 100% is insane.
That's 40 plus, it's 100% bonus damage.
And like the amount of damage that it could potentially do, like as base damage with no other factors, 893 plus 243 times 100%, like double that.
So over 1,000, so over 2,000.
As base damage, not including your gadget tiles, not including your attack tiles, not including your equipment.
Crits.
Yeah. The damage ceiling on this, I don't know. It might be comparable to Blade Dancer, because Blade Dancer has a ceiling. There's only so much more it can do. I mean, I guess it's a pretty big ceiling.
Yeah.
366% of 1,000.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So I think Blade Dancer is as a base thing ultimately the more important thing to invest in.
Yeah.
But I think that Demon Hunter is another one that can be used
I mean,
before you get to like that really, really high stage of combat and stuff where everybody's got maxed out everything. Like then you want to use, well, even then you want to use the like Corsair deck.
it's a Corsair deck.
But in average play, I think the Demon Hunter and the Blade Dancer can go head to head.
I think there's going to be a lot of high-end people. This video is going on way too long, and I'm not even doing anything right now. As a last thought, like I can imagine A-Friend Gaming or Muck doing Necromancer videos with this, because when you have the Hex tile with the Necromancer, and you just put a Demon Hunter onto a Hex tile, and then you just build this deck the same exact way, it's better than the Gadget tile. But I think Gadget is still pretty good with it, or Trainer would still be good with it. Because you're having to build so many of them that you can take advantage of all the Gadget titles. Anyway, that's it.
That's all.
Bye.